need to lead with empathy. And you're right. Um, it's different than sympathy, but feeling empathy is not enough. You need to act with empathy. So I'd love for you to kind of differentiate those two and give maybe some tips on how do we do that?
Well, whenever we say compassion, I always come to the historical model. One of my favorite presidents, if not the favorite, most favorite, was Abraham Lincoln. And I mean, he led America when we had split apart. And so there's so many stories of him being compassionate, visiting the troops, being there for others. He suffered greatly himself. He lost his son when he was in the White House. He had trouble with his wife, who probably later suffered from what we would call mental illness. He probably suffered from depression, and she may have done later. But he was always reaching out. He was noted for his stories. Very, very many of them are humorous. But simply that common touch, that ability. And of course, he stood up for in the Civil War. The cause was he made it the ending slavery. It's not just the Union, but it was also ending slavery, which was a form of compassion, of treating others as human beings.
So leaders must do more than just to feel empathy. They must express it, and that outward expression of empathy is compassion. And ways that you mentioned, which I think are, three great steps in doing that, is listen intently.
Yes, and this is a lesson I learned from Father Greg Boyle, who founded and runs the Homeboy Industries in Los Angeles. It's the largest gang intervention program basically in the world. And it attracts members, boys and girls who have, and matriculate to young people who leave a gang. And why did they join the gang in the first place? A sense of community, because they had no home life or no sustainable home life. And so they're searching for something else, a community. And connection is important to the work that Father G does. And also this kind of, when you think of connection, it's occupying the space of another in a unobtrusive way. So if I sense, and leaders can do this, if I sense someone is experiencing a difficulty, what I don't want to do is if I go up to you and say, Charles, here's the 3 things you need to do. Boom, 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 boom. If we're in a business situation and we're time pressed, I might just give you that for stuff. But if you're dealing with a personal crisis, I can't. I mean, that's telling you. So how about we have lunch together? How would you just share a park bench or whatever it is? We occupy that space and we have a conversation. And then, you share something that's going on. And I say, would you like a perspective on that? So we have a conversation. And then, here's a suggestion. And it's a back and forth. But it's that connection. That's a form of compassion. But compassion, I think, is, you rightly hit it. It begins with listening. It's looking at the other with a sense of respect, an open heart. What can I do? And what do I have resources to enable?